When police arrived at a wealthy Florida couple's home in 2018, they found a husband and wife both stabbed and bleeding. The husband, Mike, told authorities an intruder broke in and started attacking.
But that's not how the wife remembers it. In fact, after she woke up from surgery, she told police a very, very different story. So 48 Hours correspondent Peter Van Sant has more on the latest episode of 48 Hours, Reuschel versus Reuschel.
911, what's the emergency?
My wife and I need an ambulance for bleeding.
I was called at approximately 4 o'clock in the morning on February 3rd, 2018.
Alachua County Sheriff's Detective David Visconti says the call was about a home invasion. The alleged crime happened at the home of Mike Reuschel, a millionaire businessman, and his wife Sue. That's Mike on the police dash cam.
You woke up to her scream, and tall figure with ski mask starts fighting with you with a knife.
I felt something sharp.
I'm being advised that the wife has severe injuries and was currently being trauma alerted to our area hospital.
Sue had been stabbed in her neck, stomach, and wrist, but somehow she survived.
If Susan had died, the truth of what happened that night would die with her.
Prosecutor David Byron.
When Susan Reuschel comes out of surgery, she tells investigators that there is no intruder and that the person who inflicted all of the injuries that she is suffering from is Michael Reuschel.
Mike, who had mostly minor injuries, was arrested and charged with attempted murder. The motive? Prosecutors say Sue told Mike she wanted a divorce.
When he was faced with the prospect that he would have to give her half of his fortune, he made a calculated and premeditated decision to kill.
And he just hopped on top of me, and I felt like this pressure right here. And then all of a sudden I saw a knife come in. I said, "Oh my God, Mike, did you stab me?" And he said, "Yes."
But Mike claims Sue was the real aggressor that night.
I got close to her right here, and her hand comes out, and
Was there anything in her hand?
a knife.
Mike's daughter, Caroline, believes her father.
There's no way on God's green earth that my father would stab anyone.
Mike and his defense claim Sue was an abusive wife who was often in conflict with Mike over Caroline. And Caroline's expensive wedding only made things worse.
Never in 1 million years would I think that my wedding would be the catalyst of all of this.
Intriguing. Let's bring in 48 Hours correspondent Peter Van Sant. He's joining us now from his home. So, Peter, why exactly was Caroline's wedding a source of conflict?
Well, this wedding was out on Long Island at a place called Oheka Castle, which is like a French chateau. It had a 6-figure budget to it, but it turned out that, according to some, the wedding costs went $100,000 to $150,000 over budget. People had come there been invited there from all over the world. And Sue Reuschel, it is said, was outraged by this. Caroline was not her biological daughter, and that created an enormous amount of tension between Mike and Sue.
So both Mike and Sue were stabbed in this altercation, but clearly different injuries because one wound up in surgery and one didn't. Can we talk about the nature of their injuries?
Well, this is intriguing and such a part of this hour that I call this a pendulum hour. As you walk, you're going to be going back and forth as to who is telling the truth. But Sue came out of this with far worse wounds. She was stabbed near the neck, stabbed in the stomach. But the most serious, life-threatening injury that she had were a couple of wounds to the wrist. Her wrist had been cut. Now, Mike claims during the course of the trial that she self-inflicted those cuts. I've seen pictures of them. They're deep, they're frightening, and our audience is going to have to sort that out. Mike, on the other hand, just had superficial cuts, which Sue says he self-inflicted to try to create this story that an intruder had come in and that he had fought this intruder off, getting stabbed in the process.
So those are sort of the unique differences that are pretty significant for the case. It's not just the nature of the injuries.
Yeah, it's a forensic battle about how these injuries came about. blood spatter? Was it a spurt? Was it cast-off blood? It's a battle of the experts. And here you have a circumstance where the husband and wife tell diametrically opposed versions of what happened inside that room. I will say there was a lot of blood left on that bed, and the vast majority of that was Sue's blood.
All right. Something to look forward to put in my streaming list of things that I'm going to be binge watching this weekend. Peter Van Sant, stay safe, my friend. Thank you very much for coming to us live from your home. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Everybody stay safe.
Indeed, indeed. To learn more about what happened in the Reuschel case, watch 48 Hours Saturday night at 10 Eastern. I'll be watching it. You can also watch it on demand on CBS All Access.